Welcome back to the Meeple Marathon. Today we're going to be previewing Clash of Corgis. This is a small box card game that actually has 3 modes of play. So let's take a look at what's inside. It's pretty straightforward, but there's a very nice magnetic closure lid that holds all the cards. There you can see that. And it's pretty straightforward. A little rule book here. We'll talk about those. And some reference cards for the various modes of play, and then the deck of cards. So this deck contains 5 suits, essentially. They're more elements, but 5 suits of cards that range from 1 to 9, and then there's an ace and a wild. So there you can see some of the aces, and there's, like, for example, a wild card. So let's talk about the standard way to play first. The objective of this standard game of Clash of Corgis is to simply get rid of all the cards in your hand. It's a very simple objective, very easy to teach. And when someone leads off a round, they're going to choose either a single card or a pair, 3 of a kind, 4 of a kind, or 5 of a kind. They're going to lay those cards down. Everybody who plays after them has to play the same combination. So if somebody plays a pair, whoever comes after you also has to play a pair, but they have to play higher. So if I were to start off with 2 1s, somebody could come behind me and play 2 2s. And if it came back around to me and I did not have pairs of anything higher than 2, I would have to pass. But maybe I have 2 aces here. Once everyone has passed and it comes back around to me, I'll simply put these off to the side and I get to lead again. At this point, I don't have any pairs or any triples in my hand, so I would lead off. Maybe I want to, lead off with a 9, or maybe I want to get rid of my low card, so I would start by leading off with a 3. And then there's always the wild card. Now, all of this is very simple, right? Very straightforward. Play higher than the person who played in front of you. If they play doubles, you play doubles too. The trick is, however, that every card has its own special ability. So when you play the card or the pairs of cards, you get to do something. So all of these different abilities are listed on, here's the original side, listed on your helper aid card here. There's 2 of them in the box. And so, for example, if I play a 1 here, I'm going to get to privately look at the top card of the deck. If it's a suit that matches the suit from one of the cards in the combo that I played, I can discard it to win the round. So you could essentially win right off the bat, throw your 1s out there, win the round, and move on. And I'm not going to cover all of these, but some of them, allow you to discard, like the mage allows you to discard 1 card from your hand that matches the card's suit. So if I played, say, this 3 here with the, I believe that's the earth, maybe that's the wind, I could also discard a 2, and because it's the same matching suit. Now that obviously would have to be a 6. I don't have a 6 in my hand, but if I played a 6 of earth, I could then discard the 2 of earth. The wild here, their trick is that they copy whatever you play beneath them. So if you played the illusionist on top of a 6, this is the only time you don't have to beat the cards below you. The illusionist essentially becomes a 6. You get the benefit of a 6, and then the next person after you has to play a 7 or higher. And that's it. Games are very fast. You could play multiple rounds. In fact, that's what I recommend, simply because it takes you're certainly not going to memorize every card's ability over the course of 1, maybe even 2 games. But the more you play, the more you kind of get to learn what's on this card, and you don't have to keep referencing it. So your games will actually speed up the more games you play in a row. And again, when they're only lasting 10 minutes, you can easily play multiple games of the original in a row. The next mode of play in Clash of Corgis is called Treasure Island. So this is very different from the original game. This is more of a push your luck style game. So you can also play this one 2 to 4 players. When it's your turn, you're going to draw up to 3. So you may already have 3 cards in your hand. If not, you're going to draw a card so that you have 3. Then you can choose to, you may play a card out in front of you. So I may play this 7. then it's simply going to pass around. At some point or another, it comes back around to me. I would come here, and maybe I'll put down this 6. As long as you have 1 card and a maximum of 2 cards in front of you, you can choose to fight. Now, you're not fighting any of the opponents around the table. You're fighting imaginary cards that are going to come out of the deck. So you are making a bet saying that my 2 characters here, who are 13 total, is going to be higher than the amount of cards I pull from here. Now, when I choose to fight, I get the choice. Am I going to pull 1 card, 2 cards, or 3 cards out? And for the purposes of this game, the aces and the wilds both count as 10 as far as counting is concerned. So this is more of where the push your luck element comes in. Am I going to pull 2 out and hope that the 2 cards here I pull out are less than 13? Am I going to get really crazy and pull 3 out? Because the objective of the game is the first person to 10 cards in their loot pile. So if I'm successful in defeating these cards that I draw from the top of the pile here, I get to keep them as loot. If not, I'm going to discard them. They're going to go away. No matter what, these cards are also going to go away. So you've created your little, band of mercenaries, but they go off and they do 1 fight, and then you're not going to have them back. So it's not like you can build up, say 2 aces and then just roll through the deck as much as you want. But let's just say, for example, I'm going to try for 2 cards. So we're going to flip these over. Oop, that's not a great start. And there we go. Unfortunately, in this instance, you guys can't see that. In this instance, it's a tie. I did just randomly shuffle the deck. So in this case, I would lose. Ties go to the defender, and these cards would sweep away. But in a similar fashion to the original game of Clash of Corgis, the cards that I play, the numbers, have special abilities. So we have another player aid card here. There's 2 of them. And it again tells you who, out of the cards that you play, what special abilities they do. For example, the 3 or the 6. So let's look at the 6 here. Target any player, select a card from their hand, and look at it privately. If that card is the same suit as this card, steal 1 loot from their loot pile. So this is a way to, take a loot from them and you gain it. So if I played this 6, I'm going to randomly pick a card out of their hand. If it's also a purple void suit, then I get to steal a loot. Also, you'll notice that I deliberately ended up with 2 void cards here. If you play your 2 cards and they share the same suit, you get a suit bonus here. So a void bonus would be increase the total rank of your party by 10. So in that case, I actually would have won. By playing these 2 here, my 13 becomes a 23, and it is more than the 13 here. I would take these 2 cards as loot. Maybe I got really lucky and stole 1 from somebody else at the table. But I now have 3 out of the 10 total that I need to win the game. And that, in a nutshell, is Treasure Island. The last mode of play in Clash of Corgis is Capture the Illusionist. So this is actually just a head-to-head game. You can only play this 2 players. What you're going to do is you're going to take all the cards of a suit. So I chose the Void, the purple cards. You're going to take all 11 of them. You're going to shuffle them up, and you're going to deal out 2 rows of 4 like this, face down. So I don't know what these cards are. I do know, however, the fact that the illusionist is not in my hand, that he's out here somewhere. The illusionist is somewhere here. He's not hiding. I'm not cheating or anything like that. On your turn, you're going to get to peek at 1 card, one of your hidden cards here. Then you're going to choose to either reveal a card by flipping it over or playing a card out of your hand. If you play it out of your hand, it stays down. It's still considered in your hand, but it's revealed so that your opponent can see it no matter what. And again, similar to all the other modes of Clash of Corgis, each of the different numbers or cards has its own effect. So for example, if I play a 1 down like so, it actually allows me to peek at another card and then activate a different card than the 1. The 5 actually doesn't do you as much good in your hand. It wants to be out here in your slot and revealed, because then when you play it, when you flip it over like so, you can peek at something that's in its same row. So it's kind of attacking this way. There are other cards that allow you to pull cards out of this hidden area and into your hand, and vice versa. If you choose to play a card from here in your tableau, it's going to stay flipped over. And it's also going to be exhausted at the end of your turn. It's going to stay exhausted through your next turn, so you're not going to be able to just keep using the 5. So say down the road here, oh, and there's my illusionist, so I probably would not have flipped that one over. Say down the road here, I have something like this. I choose to activate my 2. It will be exhausted, and at the end of my turn, I get to refresh any cards that I did not play this turn, meaning I can use that 5 in the future. So what you're going to be doing here is trying to play cards out of your hands to reveal your opponent's cards, eventually revealing the illusionist. They do have a chance to save their illusionist by playing the ace. Now this either needs to be played out of your hand or revealed from your tableau here somewhere, and I don't have it, so here it was. If I hadn't revealed it yet, I could have made a guess, a wild guess, and said, I think this is my ace. I flipped it over if it was. There are rules for resetting your illusionist. Either way, if you capture your opponent's illusionist, they're going to take all of their cards, shuffle them back up again, dealing 8 out in front of them, keeping 3 in hand, and you have to capture their illusionist twice. If you're the one who captured their illusionist, the state of your board does not change. So that gives your opponent a kind of catch-up mechanic, being that most of your cards are already exposed. They may know and be able to, on their very next turn, expose your illusionist. So it's the first person to expose their opponent's illusionist twice, and you are the winner. And just as always, there is a player aid here describing all of the different effects that each of the cards has. So here are my thoughts on Clash of Corgis. It's definitely a family weight, very travel friendly, but lightweight card game. This is a good filler for game nights, or one that you could easily take with you out to dinner or travel with because of its size and the quick amount of time it takes to set up and play. Setup is there's almost no setup time, and all of the games go by pretty fast. So if you're, say, headed out to dinner and you know there's going to be a wait, or anywhere really that you can even have a small flat surface, you could probably even play this on a plane, on somebody's tray table. The game is very easy to teach, very fast to pick up and learn. There is a bit of a learning curve when it comes to determining the special abilities of all the cards. Ideally, it would have been nice to have seen the special abilities printed on the cards. That would have reminded you when you played them down to do that. But since there's 3 modes of play, the abilities do not carry over necessarily from one game to the next. So there is a little bit of a learning curve wrapping your head around what each of the abilities does. When you first start to play, there's going to be a lot of referencing these player aids. But like I mentioned earlier, the more games you play, since they go by so quickly, you'll start to remember, oh, this is what the 6 does. This is what the 2 does. So I would definitely recommend saying, all right, we're just going to play several rounds of the original mode, or we're going to play several rounds of Treasure Island. I would not necessarily sit down and say, all right, let's play a game of original. Now let's play a game of Treasure Island. And if there's just 2 of us, let's play a game of Capture the Illusionist. I think you would get mixed up too much in what the special abilities are of each card. The artwork, though, is really fun, really cute, really family friendly, with all of the corgis. Obviously, if you're a dog fan, a small dog fan, or a corgi fan, this is definitely up your alley. Or if you appreciate just good, fun, family friendly artwork, it's very pleasing on the eyes. This is definitely not one that it comes with a ton of strategy. There is a lot of luck involved in the draw. and you just kind of have to go with it. The cards you're dealt are the cards you're dealt. And again, not too much strategy, so this is definitely on the lighter weight end of the scale. But for its size, for its price point, and for its ease of setup and teaching, I definitely would say this is one to check out, especially if you love small dog artwork. If you have any questions, please feel free to let me know in the comment section below. I'll be happy to do my best to answer them. If not, go check out Clash of Corgis. Once again, thanks for watching. Have a great day.